leather gloves were slapping in hands. Popcorn and peanuts were working the stands. Pink cotton candy, love on a stick, was chasing the beer. The trick of the lips, play ball,
I love all of
play
it.
ball.
Yeah, that would help.
Load up the bases and smack
I
it
on
right
there,
over
baby?
the
Could go
wall.
play ball.
Play ball.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Laughter Saves Live.
Live.
Here in beautiful Massapequa, Paradise Studios, Strong Island Television. I'm here with my buddies, with two of the Chooches. Three of the Chooches aren't here. We got no Oliva, we got no Frank, and we got no Patty G.
Why you call them chooches for?
Because we're Chooches.
Chooches.
We have three Chooches left, and the beauty.
Oh.
Allegra Barnett. We flew her in, a beauty.
Miss Allegra Barnett.
Miss Choochie Barnett. We can call her a Choochette.
Choochette.
Do you mind being called a Choochette?
Yeah.
It's like one of the guys.
I'm Jewish, so I could be a Jew.
I don't really
There you
like
go.
that name.
There you
That's
go.
like a weird name you gave her.
Allegra Barnett. So
We flew her
what?
all the way in.
Choochette?
Choochette.
I like it. I like it. Before we get into the show.
We flew her all the way in from California.
Yes, we did.
I like how you say it like you paid for the flight.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Like,
We did. Yeah.
Private jet all the way from California.
John was the pilot.
Before we get into the show, I'd like just to take a moment of silence. Let's bring up Christopher Slutman's picture. Christopher was with the FDNY on reserves with the military in Afghanistan, and he was lost, I think it was yesterday, in a roadside bombing. So let's just take 15 seconds, a moment of silence for Christopher and his family. All right, thank you guys. I think he had 3 children, so we'll talk more about Christopher maybe next week when all the details come out. But it's always hard. It never gets easy, you know, when you lose a fireman, and this guy was a double hero.
Yes.
Military and
And
FDNY. Wonderful looking family there, 3 kids, and their lives have changed forever, obviously.
And that was near Bagram Air Base, which is relatively secure, I thought.
Oh, yeah?
There was a roadside
I didn't
bomb.
get a chance to look at all the details.
Awful.
All right, so we'll get into the show here. I have Allegra here. We did a few shows this weekend. Patty, what did you have going this weekend with Comedy Wise? Did you have any interesting experiences?
No.
Because I would say Allegra and I drove in the car on Friday night.
Yeah.
We drove for how many hours? We got stuck in traffic.
It was like 18
You didn't do the ferry?
No, and she was just wonderful. I talked for 2.5 hours and she didn't say anything. It was a perfect partner for me.
I feel bad for her.
Remember we did the ferry and you made that video of us
That
on
was
the
one
jet
of the best
ski?
videos I ever
Just
made.
think,
That
I got to
was
be on a
funny.
plane with him, and I got to spend 4 days with him.
Oh, wow.
Thursday.
Yeah, so yeah. But we had
was fun. It was
we had a
fun,
great
yeah.
time. We bonded, we spoke, we talked, and we laughed. And I'm glad you're here tonight.
Yeah, I'm glad I could finally be here.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
usually you'll call from California.
Yeah.
How is it
California.
to actually be in California?
California.
How fantastic is it to be here in the studio?
It's amazing.
Isn't
it's
it?
amazing. It's like a dream come true.
It's like you've seen it your whole life.
I know.
And now you're here.
I know.
Like when I was on the set of Sesame Street, it's huge.
I feel like a Make-A-Wish kid.
I
Right?
think John Santo.
were on the
I
set
think
of
John
Sesame
Santo. I think John Santo should have his own show.
Me too. I think you should start next week.
Yeah.
So a few things. Shows this weekend. Anything?
Yes.
Anything? Anything that was fun? That was interesting? Anybody fall off the stage? Give me something.
Sure. I did the Husk and Vine, which is a really nice
The Huskin
Husk and
Vine.
Vine.
Okay.
Which is in St. James,
Sounds like
Suffolk
some kind
County.
of bondage joint.
Nope, not
no,
bondage.
all right, just asking.
Not bond. I'm
I
not into
wasn't
that.
going to get into it.
It was like a wine place. But
Nice,
They also had very
classy.
artisan type dishes.
Classy.
The wings were fantastic, and the Caesar salad was scrumptious.
Wow, it sounds like a really nice place.
It was John Butera.
Nice.
Fat J.
Fat Jay, he was with us on Friday. Fat Jay,
Tony.
last name Tony. Last
So
name.
far with the
And,
names you announced.
Maria Walsh and
Tony Maria Walsh.
and Paul Bond.
Oh, nice show.
I was gonna say the
So-
first 3 guys, it didn't sound like salad guys when you
was-
talking about
No,
salad.
no. Well, we had a great time. Was anyone else there? No, it was a great show. We had a lot of fun. It was like a bar, like a more of a barish.
But was there anything interesting happen at the show?
So there was one.
that-
There's always that one audience member that
Right.
looks dead,
Right.
and that person looked dead.
And they took a
And
beating?
of course, they're always in
Right in
prime
front.
view of the comedian.
That's the only person you see.
The only person you see. Now, I have learned to train myself to look away from that person. It took me years to do
Yeah.
that.
That's good.
I got it down pat. But I always check in with them every
It's tough
once
for you
in a
because you have a
while.
lot of them in your.
I have a lot of them in the crowd. But when I did some of my impressions, that got her.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
so,
'Cause,
but the
I-
wife jokes didn't work.
No.
My diet jokes didn't work. None of that monologue shit worked.
Yeah.
But the
Monologue-y.
Trump Viagra, that gets him every
Let me
time.
tell you something. Fat Jay, one of the nicest up-and-coming
Nicest guy
comics.
and very strong comic.
Forget about
He's a
comedy.
good man. He's a
funny.
good man.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
I love putting him on shows. He's so thank you so much and all that stuff. He did a good job
Yeah,
the
he's
other
sweet.
night.
He's a good guy.
Allegra was wonderful. They loved her. They loved her. But the room, you see how nice your room was? Our room was a
No,
dive.
our room wasn't that great. I mean,
Well, this-
actually,
no,
no,
this-
it was nice. It was just, the crowd was.
This was a VFW?
Yeah. No, it was an
Elks
Lodge.
Elks
Yeah,
Lodge.
the one that I did in Vernon, that one
No,
that
no, no.
looks like it's from Deliverance.
That room, here's what I said when I opened the show. I didn't think you could find a worse room than the one we did it at the last 3 years, but you did. But it really wasn't.
Is that
but I
really
thought,
nice to make fun of the venue before you do?
Yes, yes, definitely pick on
The
the
other
venue
good joke
in
you
a
have-
fun way.
Is when you say, "Who's on the decorating committee?"
Right, when
Epic
there's-
fail.
With
That's,
no decorations at all, and I did that. I said that.
Yeah.
that's a good line too.
A fun night though. They were into it
They were a
from
great
minute
audience.
one.
Yeah,
From
they were
minute
fun.
one. And let me tell you something. Joe Pontillo's been bugging me for a few years to use him, and I just
Pontillo's
use
hilarious.
I just use you
he's
guys.
phenomenal. Joe
He is.
Yeah,
Fontello's
I
phenomenal.
rotate using the same guys over and over, and I love Joe, and he's a great guy. So I gave
Brilliant
him,
writing and delivery perfect.
gave him a guest spot a few months ago, did 10 minutes. Next time I gave him 20 minutes, he headlined.
He was here. We
He
had
headlined.
We had him on.
Yeah,
our
we
show.
heheadlined right here. He was right here. He headlined, and he,
Super funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
headlined
And he's
that
a good
show.
guy.
He
too.
headlined the show.
Yeah.
Good.
yeah.
And Allegra did. We did a show with Greenlawn. Allegra did excellent.
She destroyed.
That was a good
Really
night.
funny too. You were hosting.
That was a good night.
You did good sitting.
I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were annoying. I mean, you were there.
I was there to hang.
Him and Dalakis talking about airplanes at the end
Oh,
of the night.
boy.
Oh,
Yes.
Delacus and I big into
You know, you're not allowed to
airplanes.
do any more airplane segments for like a year.
Why?
Because you did so many of them.
You
did
got to
so
hear him and
many.
Dalakis together.
I know.
Oh, me and Delacus.
I felt like it
yeah.
was with Leslie Nielsen and Kareem
Too
Abdul-Jabbar.
much.
Does Jim fly?
I'm
too?
Roger Murdoch.
Jim
I'm the
is into
co-pilot.
airplanes.
Or does he fly? I mean, you fly.
No, he
I
flew.
fly. I
He used to
flew.
fly.
Okay,
Used to fly.
you're the only person that actually can legit talk about planes because you know how to fly them. Everyone else, like, well, there's peanuts. Now there's no more peanuts, and it's a dog, but she's not blind. Like, it just fucking who cares? But you're the real deal.
We
I
were
flew
going.
them,
We were
yeah.
going to get
Yeah.
a private jet.
Dret,
When we-
yeah, you're going to get a Dret.
Well, they were going to give us the jet first, and then I asked for a jet. We were going to Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
and they were going to. And I said, if there's only one pilot, he's coming with us,
So I could
Yeah,
land
yeah,
the plane.
just in case. Just in case.
So
Can you
I-
fly a C? What are the big ones that were on the base? A C.
No, no.
I told you about that guy. They called last week.
C-17, yeah.
You were here last week.
Yeah, C-17, no, that's a little outside.
Did I tell you that the other night?
No,
The guy took his phone.
Yeah,
This pilot, he flies for United also. You know how they refuel in the air?
yeah.
He's flying at 350 miles an hour, getting refueled, videotaping the plane 10 feet above him. He showed me the video. He's
So
like,
I'll tell you what I
That's
did
crazy.
do. I was in Farnborough, England for
Yes.
the air show. And I was in a 737, a real
Right.
motion simulator.
right, simulator, right.
That they train with. Because the first time a pilot flies a real airplane is when they fly a real airplane.
I did that little plane outside the
Yeah,
supermarket.
he did a
It's like
simulator.
simulator.
He was on a ride at
quarter.
Adventureland.
It's a quarter.
So this is a real simulator
Yeah.
that the pilot's training.
Is
So
this
I
gonna
had
be? Is this gonna be funny?
Yeah, so I had a
All right.
British Airways captain. I said, pretend both pilots had the fish,
Right.
and I'm Ted Stryker, and I've got to land that plane. And he talked me through it. Now, he was sitting right next to me, not on the radio.
Right.
Right, and I landed the 737 at Heathrow,
And it's your first time ever.
and it was I did a couple of practice flights before that.
Well, yeah.
But then I said, now tell me very little, like pretend you're talking me down. And I landed the plane.
Didn't I ask him if it was gonna be funny? Didn't I ask him?
Ted Stryker, that's
No,
the funniest
he's-
part. It's a different kind of flying.
You know,
This is why you can't do
Wait,
plane
wait,
segments.
You know,
When I
Cesare
say-
Franco
so
Benny's on
passionate,
the
you know what I
line
mean?
today.
When I
I
say
think it's fascinating.
Well, all right.
when I say all together, you
but you're
all
not here
say-
every week,
No,
Allegra.
I'm not. Thank God.
When I say all together, all you guys say it's
Yes.
a different kind of flying. So Ted Stryker goes,
What are we saying again?
What?
it's a different kind of flying.
It's
When
a
I-
different kind of flying.
Altogether.
Altogether,
ready?
it's a totally different type of flying.
No, so when
ahead.
I say altogether, that's
Go
what
ahead.
you say. Wait a minute. I flew single engine fighters in the Air Force. This plane has 4 engines. It's a different kind of flying altogether.
It's a totally different type
kind
of
of flying.
flying.
That was an
Altogether.
airplane. It's a different kind of flying. That was
all right.
All together, because he said
All
all
together.
together. Yeah, yeah.
All right,
right,
now
so
that we
let's-
lost half our
yeah,
audience, let's
yeah.
get into
That
the
was
show now.
I think we should explain airplane jokes.
No.
more.
Oh.
No, I think we should talk. I think we should talk about Allegra. Well,
Oh, she's
guess.
Oh, we're gonna
fascinating.
get to
Let's talk
Allegra,
about
yes. Okay.
Allegra. She's an asshole. Okay. Oh.
Yes,
tell
we're
us
going to
what-
talk
Well, that's
about.
besides the point. But we have some interesting stuff that you
She's
do.
big
You
in
know.
Hollywood. Tell us about
I'm
Hollywood.
huge.
Huge.
I'm huge.
Well, we're gonna get into Allegra's interview after Joanne calls at the 15. We'll talk about, which I find very interesting, the Cloud College. What do they call it?
Clown College. I went to Barnum.
John.
Was it Barnum Bailey's? Because I looked it
John, I
up.
wasn't
Yeah, it was
interviewing. I was saying, let her talk about her week and her stuff. Then we could do. You know what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say?
but
It's we always
you
leave
know,
our
talk
we
about-
always
talk-
leave our guest host out and talk about
Yeah, well,
nonsense
they're not-
like
they're-
airplanes.
They're
So
not
like I
hear
said-
about their week. They hear about their. Go ahead, talk about your week.
She's very
Well,
interesting.
no, I was
No.
gonna say because I could be quiet and judge you guys
How was
It's
your
more fun
trip
for
to
me.
New York?
Right.
from LA.
No, from where else did you come from? Yes, from LA.
I
How
don't
was your-
know. I don't
How
know.
was your trip
It was
in New York?
great.
No.
Flew
Here now,
JetBlue,
what are
right?
you getting done?
What am I getting done?
What are
seeing
we,
relatives?
Booking.com over here? We're talking about flights and airplane. What are we, a travel agency?
I don't know. I mean, I flew out of Burbank and then flying back into Burbank,
We
which is
talked about
great
it.
because I hate LAX. with my
All
whole
the
heart.
celebrities flying in and out of Burbank.
Burbank's great. because
Burbank's nice.
Every other, the major airports, they treat you like you're a criminal, because I always do the pat down because I like to go through the thing, and they.
Oh, they must hate that.
Oh, they hate me.
You like the
JF
pat
They
down.
must hate that.
Yeah, JFK.
Could you pat me down instead of me
Yeah.
going through the machine? The guys must hate that at the TSA.
Well, the
Right?
machine, you could see through everything, right?
No, it's a female
Well,
agent.
it's always a
Yeah,
woman.
that's true,
It's
that's
always
true.
a woman.
No, but I mean, you could see through.
Well, then why do I get a mail all the time?
With the machine, you could see through your clothes, right?
That's not right.
No,
That's
but I don't want cancer that way. I'd like to get cancer in a fun way, not that way. You know?
isn't that sexist? That you ask for a male, but I can't ask for a female when I
No,
get patted
No,
down.
I always get a.
No,
I
you
always get a-
can't.
I was with a gay coworker.
Yeah.
Who requested a female agent, and then I said I'm with him.
Was
Oh,
she
they can do
gay?
I
that?
got a female.
You can do that?
Oh my God, it was fantastic.
Your coworker
And then
was a
she
male or
went
a
gay
female?
right after she felt you up.
Male. So we both had female agents patting us down.
hilarious.
So why would he want a female?
If he
She's
says
gay.
he's gay, that he doesn't.
Wouldn't he want a male? I'm confused. He was not a
guess-
good
Listen,
gay.
Chooch.
He was not
Listen,
really a good
Chooch. He didn't want to get turned on, so he wanted to have the female.
All right, I
I
thought
couldn't put my tray table down. I was so turned on.
Man.
I couldn't buy the woman flowers.
maybe
'cause
he
you
was
can't-
learning to be gay. Maybe he
can't-
wasn't gay yet.
You can't have agricultural.
I said, like I
products in
said, the
terminal.
flight, the pat down woman turned gay after she touched John.
Actually, when I go through that scanner, because now it's a full body scan, there were all the female agents are asking me for my phone number. It's
you go.
embarrassing.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to learn how to fly a plane.
My hot water heater kept going out.
Were you finished, by the way?
Yeah.
We're gonna get
I
back
was
to-
talking
we're gonna
about
get-
absolute
Allegra,
bullshit.
Right.
Allegra, once you
Yes.
realize the show's all about John and John.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's the battle of the Johns.
I
That's
get
what's gonna
exhausted when the bullshit falls out
I
of my
wrote down
face,
things
so.
to do tonight on the
Okay,
show.
all right, all right.
Where is
not
your
that
sheet
excited.
of things to do?
I-
Here it is. Here, wait, hold on. Here's Pat sheet. He brought up things he wants to talk about.
I add interesting stuff when I
You
talk
do.
to
No,
yes,
that's,
yes.
that's why I have you, because you're comic wit.
Yes,
It's
yes,
not for your
yes.
preparation of segments.
Right.
By the
What
way,
preparation?
we've got approval from Bobby for him to cook in studio live on his what do you
In
call
the
it?
studio?
What do you
I'll
call
I'll bring
it?
a little burner in
His
there.
little burner. We'll have little plates. We're not going to eat out of the same plate like we did the last time.
No, but we all use different forks. That, we
No,
all-
Bobby got the Department of Health called. They would come down and arrest
Really?
us. Yeah, Bobby had to go to the
First
front
of all,
door.
I'm a huge germaphobe, and I would not have taken it. I usually say before.
But that's going to be cool.
No, but if we have a serving thing, we should be fine, right?
Yeah, but it's just going to. I wanted you to make what's his name's recipe, but if you want to make one of your
Whose
own,
recipe? I'm gonna make my own. recipe.
Tommy from
Oh,
Jersey.
Tommy. What's his
Tommy from
recipe?
where?
Knives Up, Jersey. If you need a caterer, he's a volley
Maybe
firefighter.
Tommy should use some of my recipes.
You can go back and forth.
I'm only kidding.
Well, I thought it was a way to include
Tommy
both
wanted
of
to
you.
have a cook-off with me one day.
Yeah, he won. So some kind of Swedish meatball.
He didn't win.
No, you don't come on
he
the
didn't
show
win.
and have a cook-off for you. This is your show.
Allegra.
Yeah.
No, and then one day we'll do a show. with a
I want to
cook-off.
let Allegra talk now. You guys talking over.
I'm not talking.
Allegra,
I want to hear about his meatballs.
what is your? I don't want to ask what your diet is like. That might be too personal. What's your go-to?
What's my go-to?
Your go-to?
Heroin.
No, I mean, she's
Go
like,
to?
Harold, what you go to dish? Like if you're
Oh, like
hungry.
food?
Yeah, you eat like
See, regular though, I keep it real straight. You know,
Yeah.
I don't eat meat.
you don't eat any meat.
I don't eat any meat. I don't eat chicken. I eat fish though. So I love fish.
What's that, like a California thing? People go to California, they became vegans?
You know what? I've been a vegetarian since I was 15.
Tell Patty about who took care of you at the show the other night, huh?
California.
This guy right here.
Veggie wrap, I got her. I got her a
Oh, you
salad.
have a strict diet.
Yeah.
No.
Actually, it all had ham in it, so I couldn't eat it. So we had to actually steal food off of another person's.
Oh yeah, I went
table.
around to the
Yeah,
tables
yeah,
and they bring
yeah.
food. I go, I got a vegetarian here. Who wants to give? She had a
Was
nice.
it the wife of the guy who was running?
I don't know.
I think it was.
Yeah, she
They
got a
were
nice
They
salad.
gave me a nice veggie
So you've been a
plate.
vegetarian for 15 years?
Yeah, for a long time.
And what do you use for protein source?
Well, I eat fish. I eat tuna a lot.
Oh, so you can eat fish. Okay.
Oh yeah,
okay.
I guess I'm a pescatarian. I was gonna say a testitarian.
Pescatarian.
Yeah, you're a test.
Hey John, do me a favor.
Yes.
Would you call Joanne up and tell her
Yeah,
to
I-
call this number? I already texted it to her, but just call her up. And all right.
Okay.
So, but you feel
You know what
healthier
we can do
since
now?
you do that?
Let's do our Life Hack commercial, and then we'll come back with MCN, and then hopefully Joanne will be on. Life Hack.
Parents, please listen. This is a LifeVac. It's easy to use and can save a life in an airway emergency. LifeVac is proven to save lives, and it's as simple as place, push, pull. I've had one in my kitchen and one in my car for years, and you should have one in yours. Choking is a leading cause of death. 5,000 people a year die from choking, one child every 5 days, and it can happen in just 4 minutes. There's no time to wait. If you have children in your home, please consider your LifeVac today.
We're
Okay,
back.
we're ready for you to.
When is,
Life Hack.
when is our MCN duck commercial going to be ready?
Well, Life Hack saved another life this week.
Huh?
We heard, right? Life Hack saved another life.
Yes, they did. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah,
Life Hack-
it's like you know what Life Hack is?
No, what is it?
You know how you do the Heimlich maneuver, right?
Yeah.
If the Heimlich maneuver isn't working, or you're in a position where you can't do the Heimlich, it's basically a plunger you put on your face, so it sucks the thing out of you.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
and
really- it's
you
really
think,
good.
is that going to hurt me? It's at the point where if you don't do it, you're going to die.
Oh,
So
wow.
it saved
Yeah,
a number of lives.
I've seen on Facebook they saved another
Yeah.
life this week.
A bunch of police departments are buying them now, fire schools.
They might be up to like 15, 16,
Around there.
17 lives
Around there, the
saved.
ones they know
That's
of.
amazing.
Yeah.
One
Oh,
was
what's
a
the story
kid
with
that was-
Joanne?
She's calling in.
Okay.
One was a child that was like, I forget, the child was in like a mobile, whatever.
Yeah.
And the mother wouldn't have been able to get the kid undone in time.
Quick enough, right.
So she did it right in the seat. You can't do the Heimlich when the person's sitting.
Nope.
Oh wow, yeah,
Nope.
yeah.
Strapped
You have
in.
to get behind him.
So right, exactly right. So she was able to go from the front and take him right out.
Wow.
Allegra, so we'll do
Amazing story.
your Barnum Bailey quick interview after we talk to Joanne, all right?
Whatever.
Joanne?
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hello.
How are you? I wish I could watch it, but down here in Florida, I can't get strong island television.
Yes,
Sure
you
you
can. It's
can.
on the
It's on
internet. You
internet.
absolutely can.
Strong Out TV.
Is it on YouTube?
You know, it's on my Facebook page. It should be on my Facebook page. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
You look at the rerun. You look at the rerun. Because
Okay.
if you really screw up, you may not want to watch it.
And so far you are.
And John's going to share it 600 times, so you'll see it.
So, Joanne, thanks for taking the time to call in. Patty and I are excited. You're inviting us into your. I'm more excited about the meal, Joanne. I have to be honest.
I'm
Italian.
going to start cook, and I'm still going to start cooking tomorrow.
All right. Yeah, Italian family, Florida. You're retired, so you have a lot of time to prepare. What are you making?
You really want to know?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to make vodka sauce with prosciutto.
Oh, all right, all right.
Okay, on pasta. I'm making chicken with sun-dried tomatoes, artichoke hearts,
Oh my goodness.
black olives in the oven.
Not too much olives.
The vodka sounded good.
I have baked olives for an appetizer.
Nice.
You really want to know all about that?
Yeah.
I
What?
wanted to tell you-
Yeah,
I
because
wanted to tell you what
we won't
happened.
be able to do the show after we eat all this.
Joanne, I was a fireman and I'm Italian. Isn't it all about the food?
We're having 111 people come
Oh.
to the show or so far.
Awesome.
Today I was selling raffle tickets this afternoon from 12:30 to 3:30. I sold $200 worth of raffles.
You're kicking it.
That's all for you.
Where do you get the prosciutto?
We already have donations. People brought us donations for $150 so far. You can
Nice.
add that to the 200.
Nice.
So we're doing well.
And let me tell you,
What show was this?
the
Is this
show
a
is
Friday
going
show or
to.
the
This is
Saturday?
the Vero Beach show on Saturday.
Okay.
She said she's
Woodfield.
making the prosciutto.
You're going to have. You guys are getting R.C. Smith. Let me tell you about R.C. Smith.
RC is terrific.
R.C. was the warm-up for The Chew, the TV show The Chew, for a number of years, making big bucks up in here in New York, and he decided he's done. He wants to retire to Florida, and we were very lucky to get him. He could do the whole hour and a half by himself.
Yes, he's incredible.
In fact,
And now he's working for Peniella Vodka.
Yeah, now he's working for Penny.
He's one of the top comedians in the country.
So it's going to be great. So what else? What else you want to tell us?
The top.
What else you want to tell us about the show, Joanne?
Well, first of all, I don't know if you today I mentioned a few things that I wanted to tell you about.
Go ahead.
Laughter is so important in our lives. It's good for our health. It's good for longevity. There are many villages throughout the world that if you research it, you can find that out. I'm going to put you on speaker.
Go ahead.
I want to go back to my notes.
Go ahead.
At least somebody's prepared here.
And as far as hosting Laughter Saves Lives here at Woodfield, it's a win-win. We get to laugh, and at the same time, we get to give back to firefighters and first responders here in Vero and in the U.S., and veterans too. How
Awesome.
good can it get?
Beautiful.
Everyone is
Vero Beach.
everyone's
Very well
looking forward
prepared.
to this event. And, smiling, we always know smiling takes less muscles than frowning. So laughter takes smiling to the next level.
That's it
We
does.
should
And
tell that woman in the audience the other night.
you will be laughing. You will be laughing.
Okay. I'm hoping that everyone's faces and cheeks hurt from laughing when the show is over.
And how's my buddy doing, Captain Scotto?
He's right here. I made him come in. He was out on the lanai watching his YouTube shows. But
Nice.
I said, come on in because it's time to call John.
All right, just listen. Hello, Cap. He gave me enough orders over my career. I'd rather talk to you.
There you go. I figured that.
Are you looking forward to the show, Cap?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What
The beginning of the end.
what a full circle, right?
He sounds
We
enthused.
have a group of New York retired firefighters coming from Stewart, Florida.
Nice.
So that'll be one table in the audience, about 10 people. And then Joe and I have friends even from outside our community. So so we have as of this afternoon when I left the clubhouse, we had 111 people signed up.
Wow, how many can you fit?
111.
We we can fit about 15 to 16 tables, and I think we've started 13.
Okay, great. Well, you did a great job. You're really very well organized. The raffles look beautiful. The baskets, yes, John.
Where do you get prosciutto down in Florida?
Oh, it's
Where do you get prosciutto?
the sixth borough.
We can get everything now in
With
Florida.
all the
Fresh
Italians,
buds?
with
We
all
have
the
a
Italians
store-
down in Florida,
we
you
have a
kidding
store
me?
called the Cheese Cave that I can get anything I want.
You're not talking Ohio here. You're talking Florida.
Yeah, but
There's
Florida.
more New Yorkers in
Yesterday-
Florida than in New York.
Yeah, but can you get good Italian?
Yes.
How's the pizza down there?
We had pizza for lunch today. The pizza at Mamma Mia's, is it called? Or Pizza Mia. Delicious. The guy is from Long Island City.
Oh, okay.
Okay, good.
From Long Beach.
Hey,
New York.
I gotta come
From
for
Long
the
Well-
Beach, New York. The pizza's great.
Where is he? Out by the pool? I hear him in the background. Where is he?
He's by the lanai.
Let him in the house.
And yesterday, the man who's asking me about what I can get about Italian stuff, yesterday I made my Italian Easter pies.
Ooh, I'm coming.
And it's a pizza grana.
Ah.
Maybe I'll save a couple of pieces for Saturday.
All right. And if it goes well, we'll come back next year again.
And you'll bring me this time.
Yeah.
Vero Beach is where I
The
did my
dinner-
flying
the
lessons.
dinner
Flight
or the
Safety
show?
International.
When I mean it,
Can't with the flying.
what I mean if it goes well,
Just to piss him off.
I mean if you cook a good meal, we'll come back again.
I happen to remember the flight
That's what I
safety
said, the dinner or the show.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you want to add?
Anything else we want to add?
No, we're looking forward to Saturday. When do you get it here?
He meant like appetizers. He meant like appetizers. You want to anything you want to add, like baked clams or something.
We're gonna get there about what time you want us there?
You have to be at the clubhouse at 4:30 to meet my sound man.
Got to be there before the
He
early
was
bird.
asking me today, do you
All right.
want headsets or do you want handheld mics? I met him today. You have to be there 4:30, and then you have to be at my dinner table at 5 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am. I'm still getting orders. One Scotto or the other.
I like it. I like what I'm hearing.
Yeah, all right, we'll be there. Can't thank you enough. Thanks for calling in, and we'll see you on Saturday.
All right, we're looking forward to you.
Thanks, Joanne.
All right, take care.
Thanks,
Joanne.
Cap.
Thanks.
Okay, all right.
Who's
Talk to you. Bye-bye.
all right, take care.
That's what I love. That's what I love about Laughter Saves Lives and about being involved with the military and the fire. It's full circle. I'm working on 19th Street 25 years ago with Captain Scott responding to fires, and now I'm going down to Florida, sitting in his house, having a nice meal.
And you got to be there before the early bird.
I know.
Listen,
Yes, Kevin King.
Yeah, you know.
Shot, you missed the early.
Kevin King is from South Jersey.
Read it. Yeah, read it. He's playing in 2000.
Should I read it out loud? Can I read it?
Yeah.
Kevin King, hope you all have a great rest of the week. And Ellen and I are going to start planning Love to Laugh for 2020. Love to Laugh. You did the Jersey show, no?
Which one?
A few weeks ago, we were in South Jersey,
In
the club.
in Monmouth County.
Monmouth County.
The one that you blew
the
off the
Mammoth.
Terror show for.
Yeah.
I didn't blow off a show.
You just forgot about it.
Did they tell you?
Forgot about it.
You go to the better show.
No,
He's booked for 2 shows.
I was very upset,
Yes.
and I really wish you wouldn't bring it up.
I was
Because in 30 years of comedy, that's the only time I was so upset.
I was very upset too because you could have been at another show and I had to deal with you.
I almost was going to do your show and then helicopter. I was going to be like Phil Collins when he did Live Aid in London and then.
Oh, that's cool.
Hello, Joanne. Joanne is watching now. She found us.
Into
Allegra.
the other show.
Yes.
Clown College. Let's talk a
Whoa,
little bit about
Let's go Clown College.
Hit us with
Yeah,
it.
let's hear about the clown
Me
cover.
with my past.
What
I was
made
like,
you?
I was 18.
I
at
love it.
Clown College.
How old were you?
Well, I was 18.
So what made you say this is the direction? What did your parents or what did they do when you? I don't want to go to college. I want to go to clown college. That must have been.
Well, no, it was weird. I never liked clowns. I never liked the
Really?
circus. Yeah, I actually.
I'm afraid of clowns.
Yeah, but, so was I growing up. I always hated clowns.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'm still not really crazy about it.
Uh-huh.
Where was the college?
It was in Sarasota, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I went because I was always performing. I always did comedy and
Right.
stuff. When I was in high school, they let me. I went to 2 schools. I went to Farmingdale High School, which I hated, but then I also went
Get
to
thrown out.
sort of. Long story.
All right.
But,
I went to 2 high schools.
So that was a different. No, but I went to the Bosse's Cultural Arts Center,
Okay.
which is now
Okay.
Long Island High School of
I
the
went to
Arts.
Bosse's for flying.
No, there you see.
There you go.
I could have been learning something
Back to the planes.
useful.
We're back to the freaking planes again.
Well, no, we're both Bosse's graduates, but there's different programs.
You know, Cesar Francoberti's on here.
They didn't tell me that you could go. I just thought you could, go for hairdressing or musical theater. I didn't know you could go to
They had
fly a
flying.
plane.
Is that? I don't want to get
They
into your
told me
flying.
lies. I was singing Sondheim and you were flying planes. Shit.
Okay, so
No, because when I was at the Cultural Arts Center,
right.
I had a teacher that really liked my writing and
Right.
liked my comedy, and so I would always write comedy and do like original monologues for the school. So I always wanted to do stand-up. I always liked comedy more really than anything. And so when I found out about Clown College, I wanted to learn about that kind of comedy. I didn't want to
Physical comedy.
Yeah. I had 2 things. I wanted to learn how to juggle and how to fall down.
Did you want
Okay.
to juggle?
I did,
How come you don't do juggling in your act?
because it's not funny.
You know who does juggling in their act that's very funny, and he's great?
Who?
Peter
Kevin
Saxon?
Lee.
Oh yeah, no.
Kevin Lee is phenomenal. He does juggling in his
You
act.
got to
He
be
does, like,
really
magic stuff.
good to
People love
do
a
that.
juggler.
Yeah.
I worked with him in
You can love a
Pennsylvania.
juggler,
I
but
thought he was awesome.
It's usually not hard
It's
funny.
interesting. Yeah, it's
You know.
It's a little different. Most of my so I went to Clown College and I learned those things, but while I was there, I ended up getting competitive, and everybody else was wanting a contract with the show. So I'm like, I want a contract.
So
with
you're a clown now?
Well, yeah, I toured with them. I mean, this is before I
Oh,
started.
You toured with
How
who?
long did
With
you tour?
Ringling Brothers.
The Ringling Brothers?
Yeah, I toured with the Blue Unit.
What does that mean?
There's now it sucks because there's no
a
more
bunch of-
Ringling. Because my year was the very last year of Clown College,
Right.
and then because there was a pipeline into Barnum and Bailey Circus. So basically, if you got accepted it was very competitive, and you got a free ride. You got a free scholarship.
Allegra, was there only one, like, you know how the plays on Broadway they do in other places?
Well, that's what I mean.
Was there a main one and then other Ringling?
Yeah, no, the way it was is, there wasn't a main one and a sub one. When I was on it, there are 2 units, and this is how it was through most of the years, that toured at the same time.
Okay.
The red unit and the blue unit, they were of equal caliber, and
Gotcha.
they just crisscrossed the country, basically, so every city would get a new show every year. Every
Cool.
show toured for 2 years,
Right.
but the first year you hit a different group of cities than the second
How long
year.
did you do that?
I just toured for a year.
Okay.
It was one of those things, I went there basically just to learn a few things, got competitive,
Very
and I was like,
cool.
I want to complete
Did you
the
have fun?
experience.
Did you have fun?
Oh, it was great. It was great. I lived on a train. But I was really young, and it kind of put the travel bug in me. And,
Lights.
Did you like Bozo the Clown growing
oh, I
up?
hate Bozo.
I like
was a
Bozo. When I used to, I like
He's
Bozo the
scary.
Clown.
I like the lights they
not
used to
funny.
sell. The flicker lights, and you could flick the
Yeah, yeah,
lights.
yeah.
Remember those?
Yeah.
Now you wrote for weren't you one of the writers on Kevin Can Wait?
No, I worked at Kevin Can Wait.
Thanks
and
for
I
doing your
had
research.
parts there.
Good research.
No, because I remember with
Yeah,
something.
I've written other things, but
Yeah.
I worked
When
on
I
the
met her
show.
on a show,
I'm
she was-
kidding. It's comedy. I'm just kidding you. Don't get.
well, I'm just saying.
I'm
I'm
not
just,
offended.
I
The
know,
show's
I
not on anymore.
I didn't do any research. What I'm trying to tell you, I'm just doing from what I know of her.
Isn't it crazy though the way life is? You work these. See, that's the thing. You were a firefighter. Fire departments still exist.
Right.
Like if you wanted to, you could probably,
Because
try to be a firefighter.
Because I'm in that good a shape.
But you know what a
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
world this is? My mother and her grandmother know each other for years because they
know
used to
that.
come in the office.
That's so
But
cool.
it's terrible when I think of the fact that like Ringling's no more. Like Ringling dissolved. I
Yeah.
can't do that again if I wanted to.
Why
Kevin
did it
Waite's
dissolve?
not
I thought they
around.
just stopped using
an-
some of the animals.
Because of the animals. So
Yeah,
I
but
had,
why
mixed,
couldn't
I
you
had
st-
mixed feelings about it because, on the one hand, you don't want to see the animals mistreated. On
Were
the
they
other hand, you
were
want to
they
see
really
the
mistreated? Well,
animals-
Allegra.
The reason why I was talking about the Kevin Can
Yes.
Wait, I was leading up to another question.
Go ahead.
Have you wrote for any shows when you're down? Any popular shows have you written for, or you just do?
It's honestly, I've mostly been writing on like freelance type of a basis. I've had other jobs sort of behind the scenes on TV shows.
I asked
acting
her
stuff,
this in the
voiceover stuff.
car. You're mostly a comic. You're
Yeah, I'm
you're in
mostly a
LA,
comic.
but you're really not trying heavy to get into the acting.
No, but-
acting stuff, I
Just trip
I
up on?
fall into.
Right, right.
I enjoy acting.
So you like the performing part better than the writing part?
Well, as far as TV goes,
Yeah.
I like whoever's paying me.
Okay.
If they're going to pay me to write, I'm writing. If they're going to pay me to act, I act. But I like stand up better than
Right.
She's
all that
versatile.
stuff.
Well, that was it. Yeah, that was the question. If you like stand up better than.
I'll stand up
We'll call
definitely.
John.
What, we
Salerno.
we're boring you. We want to hear.
I don't know. I gave the number.
Oh.
John Salerno.
Oh, he's doing a call in 2 minutes. What-
8:30. Well, yeah, give
Yeah,
him
we'll
2
give
minutes.
him 2 more minutes.
Say cool. So you did that for a year. You got into the stand up. How long you doing stand up now?
For a while. Been doing it for a while. I had some stops and starts, moved around. Started in New York City. I'm from Long Island, but I didn't start in Long Island.
Right.
Started in the city, lived in Texas for a while, and now.
What part of
out in LA.
Texas?
Houston. I
Okay.
was in Austin super briefly, but I was in Houston for about 4 years.
We did some shows out
That's
in
what
Houston.
NASA's mission control is.
Yes.
Airplanes.
Yes.
If you could have any job in show business,
Yeah.
right? Carte
Yeah, yeah.
blanche, what would it be?
Comic, but comic that gets paid nicely.
Right.
Right.
In front of
Like
no.
a nice hotel.
That's
private-
why. No. What I'm saying when I say, oh, I want the screenplay to hit. That's one of the
Well,
reasons I want my
we'll be
screenplay
right
to
with
hit.
you. We're just
Because
finishing up a
then I
second.
would be able to work big theaters.
Hey.
You know, and that's what I worked 2 theaters in the last few weeks. A different experience.
It's amazing, right?
It's a completely different experience than working the little rooms and
Yeah.
really is.
I like working in the big venues, but I also like the intimacy
Oh,
of
yes.
the small room too.
But it's a
like,
different feel.
You can, it's a little bit.
Hey John, you on the phone?
Yeah, I'm on the phone, bro.
Hey, John.
Just give us 1 minute. Let's do MCN. Do you have MCN duck cleaning?
MCN Duck Cleaning. Who should I read it as this week?
Just read it in a very lovely way.
Should I do Morgan Freeman?
Why don't you do Morgan Freeman?
Established in 2003, MCM Duck Cleaning is the end result of many years of research, continuing education, and determination. With a background in HVAC systems and working for an HVAC company for over 13 years, Matthew Nichols realized the need to provide a better, cleaner, and safer environment, not only for his own family, but for the families in his
We're
community.
losing viewers.
I'll finish it as Mark O'Connor.
There you go.
MCN has now expanded to both Suffolk and Nassau counties, provides services for both residential and commercial properties. I'm doing the emotional voice. Their goal is to be the #1 source for HVAC cleaning and provide high-quality service not only the first time, but every time. 631-885-5736, MCN Duct Cleaning. Give our friend Matt a call. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
Give
That's
Matty
my
a call. I'm watching last week's show.
All right,
What
folks,
did I do?
keep on the lookout for a commercial that we did, and we won't have to have John reciting.
My son, I asked him the other day, and he said a few more days. He said, we got to get this commercial going. We did a commercial, a live commercial. He was not in it.
I was not in it.
Pat,
I was not asked to be
Frank,
in it.
yeah. We got John Salerno on the phone calling long distance from Texas.
Texas.
Hey, what's up, guys? I ain't paying for this call.
Wow. John, I have to apologize. We were having a call, phone conversation this afternoon, and my son called and I cut you off, and we didn't finish the conversation.
Yeah, so he wants to finish it now.
Yeah, let's just finish it now. So you have this rash on your thigh.
Yeah. Thanks for giving that to me. Hey, first I gotta say two things before I said. I want to say, hey, I'm glad you got a Farmingdale alumni on there, because I'm from Farmingdale. And John, I got your joke. I got the all-together joke. These guys didn't get it. I got it.
The what?
Which joke?
Which one?
The airplane joke.
Oh, the airplane joke.
Oh, yeah.
But I got that in 1970-something when I seen the movie.
1980.
Hey, listen,
1980,
if you
whatever.
want, we can ship him to Texas to do your show, because
I've been on his show.
I know.
No, but you can do it live. You don't have to do it on the phone.
He can come down and do the Laughter Saves Lives May 25th show.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll ship him down there. That'll be great.
We'll ship him down.
At the George Bush in Texas.
Keep him for a week. So let's get into. John does a bunch of good stuff out there in Texas for the veterans, for fire, for police. He doesn't stop.
I gotta say, he's taking off out there.
His show is well produced.
Taking off.
He actually, when he has a 3-hour show, he has all these guests
It's
set up.
amazing. It's amazing how he does it.
Megan helps him out. Some of my guys don't do anything.
I'm one of them.
We could never do a 3-hour show.
No.
We'd kill each other an hour.
Tell us about. Let's start with the walk. What is it? Walk on the bridge.
Walk the bridge.
Walk the bridge. I'm sorry. Tell us a little bit about that.
Walk the bridge.
Very cool.
Law enforcement motorcycle club called Third Watch. There's a couple of members in there. Barry Morris, who's a retired officer. He's a retired state trooper, and a guy they call him Mongo, Greg Campbell. He's from L.A.
That's Allegra's boyfriend's name, Mongo, isn't it? Yeah.
Isn't that the Flash Gordon planet?
They saw this one guy walking the bridge to lose weight every day. So they approached him and they said, this is a good idea because we have a lot of. They're both veterans, and they said, we have a lot of veteran suicides, more than 22 a day. You ever heard of 22 Kill and all these other things that form? More than 22 veterans commit suicide every day.
Every day?
Since they were law enforcement, no one was really keeping track on law enforcement suicides. So we reached out to Blue Help out of Chicago, and we found out so far this year, 54 law enforcement officers have committed suicide.
Wow.
And we're only in the third month.
This year, right?
So what we've been doing was we are trying to walk the bridge every month on the 22nd until our voices are heard to bring in better programs and to bring in more awareness for our law enforcement and our veterans. Law enforcement officers are scared to say anything in the fear that they're going to lose their gun, they're going to lose, get put on a desk, so they eat all that stuff up. So we've been really following the suicide path for the last couple of months, and and now we're finally being heard in Austin. Our state capital has responded to us, and we're making a lot of headway. So hopefully we can save a few lives this way.
Awesome. You're doing great work. When you say they need, let's say some guy feels he needs therapy, he has suicidal thoughts, he can't go to the job because they're going to put him on so-called light duty.
Yeah, well, what will happen is if you as a cop, if you go and they hear anything about mental issues, what they're going to do is they're going to strip you of your gun, they're going to put you on a desk, they're going to send you to a psychiatrist. Then you're going to be labeled. You're going to have that stigma following you all the way around. So that's what puts the law enforcement in fear of saying anything. So the PTSD issue, these guys I did some research. Over 400 horrific events over the career of 20 years. So that's all bottled up. You know what I'm saying? So that,
Right.
again, they have severe PTSD.
Right.
So what a lot of doctors do and a lot of therapists do is they pump these guys full of medication, and your body becomes resistant to the medication. So they up the dosage and up the dosage and up the dosage. And it's really just putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole.
Right.
And the guys are still drinking, the guys are still doing drugs, and, you know, the families, they're not getting the families involved to recognize these signs, so the families don't know how to respond emotionally to it. And it turns tragic in a lot of cases. So what we have researched, and there's a thing called EMDR. It's eye movement.
Is it with music?
Desensitization.
Is it with music or sounds?
It's with lights. It's
Lights.
with lights.
Okay.
And we
Dilated
found out that
response,
I don't know if you've met her, Sam Horowitz. She's the Secret Service agent that I work with down here.
We had her on the
She
show,
was in,
remember?
she was in Building 1 when the plane
Oh, yeah,
hit.
that's right.
Yeah.
She was very traumatized. She had PTSD. She was on medication. She was on everything. She did the EMDR, and after about 6 weeks of therapy, she was off all medication,
Wow.
and she's still off all medication.
Fantastic. Fantastic. What other type of stuff?
So we're working hard to, you know, we're working hard. Hold on one second.
Don't, where's he going?
He's on the phone with Cablevision.
The dog?
Sorry, we're working real hard to bring better programs together. This way, we're not pumping our guys up with medication, especially our vets who are coming back from overseas.
Did you ever hear of Friends of Firefighters?
I've seen them online. I think they have a webpage.
Yeah. What they did after 9/11 is they started an outside organization that did all kinds of therapy and whatever. So a guy could come to them as opposed to officially going to the fire department, and there would be no, I don't want to say no record of it, but it would be private. So he can go to them and say, listen, I'm having a rough time. I need some therapy or whatever. And that's how they started.
Yes, and you know, New York City has one. It's called Papa, and guys have used that very successfully. The problem is there's not enough of those programs around. And John, here's the big kicker that we have found out is that we have to catch this early.
Right.
You know, when a recruit goes into the academy, prior to that, you know the application process. So when a recruit's going through the application process, we have to start treating PTSD as an injury and not a mental illness or disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a brain injury is what it is.
Yeah.
So once we remove the stigma of mental health, I think we'll have a lot less suicides because guys will be more apt to say, okay, it's just like breaking an arm. Okay, I got a head injury. I got something wrong with my mind. I'm going to get it fixed. You know, there's downtime. Let's get these guys fixed and back onto the street, especially with law enforcement. They see things every single day. There's no downtime.
Right.
There's no chance to decompress and stress out.
John was NYPD. If you don't, he was NYPD. He moved to Texas.
Could you repeat a statistic you said earlier? Because I think it's an important statistic. In a 20-year career, you said how many horrific incidents?
Well, the way we figured it out, if you the average runs about the average cop runs about 18 radio runs a shift, right?
That's a lot.
Over a 20-year period, that's about 40,000 radio runs a year. We went conservative and said if 10% of those radio calls were horrific events like shootings, stabbings, child's drowning, bad car accidents, whatever, they have viewed at least 400 horrific events in the lifelong of their career.
Well,
that's all bottled up and not taken care of.
You know, John, another problem, though, is that, and maybe this is changing, guys don't share their feelings. So when a horrific event happens, they're not going to go and say, I need to talk to somebody. They're going to say, I can handle this. I'm macho. And I know for me, after 9/11, if I didn't speak to somebody 50 times in that first 6 months, I constantly, because I was involved with Marriage Encounter, and I was comfortable with sharing my feelings. Marriage Encounter?
Right. And
that's what I said, Marriage
John,
Encounter.
You're 100% right. And
John, hold on one second. I was having problems with my marriage, and I went to try to make things better. And you're making fun of my marriage account?
I thought you went to trauma for trauma for. I thought you went for trauma for.
No.
For 9/11, not your marriage.
Listen, if you talk to my wife, that was traumatic. That's a traumatic relationship.
For her or for you?
For her.
Yeah.
For her. I'm sorry, John.
No. But there lies the problem too. We don't get the families involved, so a lot of families don't understand how to react to PTSD.
Right.
Or they don't know how to respond to it. So they're on the outside because, like you said, we don't communicate. Guys don't. They don't want to bring that home to the families. They don't want the families to see that. They just don't know how to open it up to them.
Right.
So that's an issue that we have to overcome. And now things are getting a little bit better. Police departments are starting to back, but here's a statistic that is going to be pretty shocking. The VA in 2018, and this is right out off the VA website, the VA had $6.2 million to spend in their budget for advertising and awareness and prevention programs. They spent $57,000.
Really?
They left more than $6 million in the slush fund.
Wow.
Never spent it.
Can I say on a side note, a lot of firemen, cops, military are now becoming counselors because it's a lot easier for these guys to talk to an ex-brother or sister that was in the military, in the fire department, than a guy who's coming off the street who knows nothing about being a cop, fireman, military, and trying to break through. And I think that's pretty cool.
Exactly. And, it's funny you bring that up because the deeper we dig into this, like I've been walking the bridge for the last couple of months, so I'm walking with first responders and vets. And, vets won't talk to first responders about their problems or what they've seen overseas. They'll only talk to another vet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of specific when you talk about the counseling, and that's why it's so difficult. And the VA changes the therapist. So if a guy, we just had a vet commit suicide at the VA hospital, I think in somewhere on the East Coast the other day because he was trying to go for help and he kept switching his doctors. You can't do that.
No.
You're not getting the proper treatment. You're not getting the proper help. So that's why we're walking a bridge. We walk a mile and a half out, a mile and a half back.
Awesome.
For a total of 2 miles. So we get about 80 to 100 people every month. And in June 22nd, we're doing what they call Hands Across the Bridge. We're expecting anywhere between 1,500 and 2,000 people to show up. And we're going to hold hands across the bridge and stay silent for 22 seconds in honor of all those who've lost their lives to this terrible demon.
Well, when we do the next show, not this one May 25th, but when we book those other shows, let's book it around that so we can participate in that because that's
awesome.
really awesome.
Now I know how John does a 3.
Well,
how can they get in contact? Can you just give us a website before we wrap up? How they can get in contact with an organization if somebody needs help?
Well, if you need help, if you're feeling, there's always those organizations because every state has a different organization. You have the suicide hotline, but every organization has different numbers to call or text if you are feeling
suicide.
That if you're feeling depressed, you battle. But my suggestion is we as brothers, we've all been there. We have to recognize the signs. We have to be there for our brother. We have to say, hey, I'm here to help. We have to reach out that hand. And the brothers have to know that they can call upon each other to help.
Well,
and not be afraid.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. We appreciate it. We're going to let you go right now, which kind of means we're hanging up on you.
Yep, we have to get to our last
segment. Johnny, I'll give you guys a call tomorrow. And once again, you guys are a great show. Laughter Saves Lives is a fantastic organization. And I'm glad you don't have Frankie on there right now because, Allegra is much prettier.
She's a
Yes.
She's a
Yes.
huge upgrade from Frank.
Yeah,
Yes,
we could
he-
trade him in for John.
That is some compliment. Allegra, you're prettier than Frank.
I tried. Prettier than Frank. Put that on a business card.
Thanks,
you, John.
John.
I think Santos prettier than Frank.
I have a big segment here.
I know. Let me just read one thing quick. The Hilton Garden Inn PGA. Well, they're giving us
All right,
free
read it quick,
rooms.
read it quick.
The Hilton Garden Inn PGA Village in beautiful sunny Florida is less than 2 miles away from First Data Field, home of the New York Mets spring training facility and their single A team, right, John?
And the St. Lucie
Adjacent
Mets.
to the world-renowned, because I have a feeling Patty may
PGA
end up
golf
on it.
course.
PGA golf course and a short drive from St. Lucie
Yes.
Canyon.
It's an
11
excellent
miles
hotel.
of pristine beaches. Hilton Garden Inn PGA Village, the perfect place to be when you're in Florida.
Perfect.
All right, so now you got to
And
really.
John, don't go.
So this is my new segment.
Is it funny?
Yes, it is. It's called the Moron Medal.
Okay.
And this
this
week's
about air
Moron
pilots?
Medal goes. Can we have the picture, please, of the
We got a picture.
baseball field on fire? These morons
Yes.
in Ridgefield, Connecticut.
Okay.
All right.
I've been there.
It rained the night before the game, so they lit the field on fire to dry it with 25 gallons of gasoline. Now,
Wow.
Were they
I have
po-
the world's greatest hazmat expert.
Were they
sitting-
Polish?
Hold on. He has the world's greatest hazmat expert right here. John, why is it a bad idea to put gasoline
Number one,
on a
gasoline
porous field?
is a carcinogen. The odor threshold for gasoline, just as a side note, is 0.25 parts per million.
Mm-hmm.
What that means is you're going to smell gasoline long before it's toxic or dangerous.
Right.
Okay? The LEL and the UEL is 1.2 to 7.8%, which means gasoline is going to light up at a very low level of vapors.
Yes.
Just a few key points on gasoline. Take it back, John.
Now, it's also contaminating the
Yes.
soil.
It's carcinogen too, so yes.
It ruined the field. It turned the soil basically to like a clay.
Yes.
It had to dig down 3 feet. And guess how much damage these morons caused?
What was the cost?
I'm going to do it on Robin Leach.
Go ahead.
$50,000 of damage caused by these morons before the Superfund cleanup.
With $15 worth of gasoline.
That's right. They had to have the Department of Environmental Conservation come and dig and make sure there's no contaminants deep into the drinking water.
Sure.
Morons, put down Speedy Dry, 5-10 bags will do an entire infield. I know because I coach Little League. And it's not a carcinogen.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something.
Why would you?
I don't think you're ever going to
I don't
have a
know.
problem with this
Oh,
again
yeah.
because there's a couple of morons that did it. People are not going to
Well,
pour
people
gasoline on
with
the
the fans there, like
People were
accumulating.
watching them do it. They were so So this week's
Maybe they were
Moron
trying to start a
Medal,
fire.
Where are they from?
Ridgefield, Connecticut.
Ridgefield, Connecticut.
But not the whole town
Were
of
they
Ridgefield.
volunteers or were they paid employees?
They
of
were
the-
just stupid people. It's like
But you
that.
shouldn't call them stupid people. That's not
Really?
nice.
That's
You're
not
right. I
nice.
shouldn't call them.
I'm
They're
gonna-
morons.
Wait, now let me tell you something. Who's the moron next week?
Who's next week?
Okay.
The moron.
You're not
medal.
going to believe I did this once.
Tell me.
All right.
Tell me.
So before I had a heater for my pool,
Oh no.
the water was cold.
No, no, no.
So I said-
not you.
Set it on fire.
Not you.
Let
You're
me
the
figure-
hazmat expert.
Let me figure out a way to heat up the water without running it off of my hot water heater
Hair dryer.
in the basement and running a hose out the window, right? And it's how many gallon pools? Thousands of gallons.
Thousands of gallons.
Okay, so it cost me a lot of money to heat up the pool with my hot water heater. How am I going to do this? So you know how the hose lays in the sun and the water comes out hot?
Yes.
Well, let me take it to another level. Let me wrap it with aluminum foil and stick it in my barbecue.
Oh, wow.
The hose melted. The whole barbecue was
Not
so
you two, please.
moron of the week number 2.
So we did 2 moron medals.
John
in the-
LaRocca.
He's not
Making
even a
segment.
chooch.
A lot of more.
And I
He's a
admitted it.
mamaluke.
But you are the greatest hazmat expert.
I'm not
in
the great. Obviously, I'm not the greatest.
You're paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a class to teach.
Do you know that they
Men
were
and
so
women.
happy when John retired?
Let me ask Allegra something. Allegra, we have just a minute
Okay,
left.
What are we asking Allegra?
What else are you going to do up here in New York? You got any big
Yeah, I have
shows?
a bunch
or-
of shows. I'm on the
Talk to me.
19th. On
What do
the
you got?
19th, I'm on a show with Chris Roach, also from Kevin Can
Kevin Can Wait.
Right.
at Cafe Spiga in
Okay,
Mount Sinai.
nice.
That's where I met you.
Nice.
I did meet. I think I met both of you at Cafe
Both of us,
Spiga.
yeah.
No, I met you at the
He was
Big
a chef.
Terrace, and we did with Eric Half, and that's
Oh,
more.
that's right. And then we also did the other one.
He was the chef up there, and he was a stalker. What was it?
Oh,
Oh,
We had a fun show at the Cafe Spiga where we did that wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that was the wedding. That was
Yeah,
the show.
yeah, yeah.
The chicken parm is fantastic.
You
What
were-
else?
That was
So
it.
the eggplant.
And
What
then
else you got?
Preston was on that show too.
we got a minute. We got a minute.
So funny.
What else,
At the end of
Allegra?
the month, I'm going to be at Fulton's Gate in Patchogue. I
Nice.
26th or 27th, maybe something like that.
Okay.
I'm at the Loft in Belmore on Friday.
Anything going on
I'm
back
at the
in
Loft in
California?
Belmore on Friday.
You are too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Anything?
We're judging the show together.
Yes, we are.
Anything going on back in LA when you head back there? Anything?
Hopefully some big stuff, and I'll let you know when I get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was great having Allegra Barnett on the show. Let's see
A
it for Allegra.
huge star from L.A.
Thanks for calling in, Joanne.
Huge
Thanks
star.
for calling in,
Huge
John.
star.
We're going to be in Florida in a few days. Pat and I are looking forward to it.
Yes, we are.
We're actually eating at my aunt's house on Sunday also.
Yeah, but we're eating at Joanne's house too.
And we're heading to Massapequa Diner. Good night.
Leather gloves, we're slapping in hands. Popcorn and peanuts, we're working the stands. Pink cotton candy, love on a stick. Who's chasing the beer? The trick of the lips, play ball. Play ball. Load at the bases and smack it right over the wall.
Play ball.
Play ball. Take off the caps. Time for the song.